Every relationship goes through hardship and disagreements. In this conversation, let's take some time and talk about some common problems that plague relationships and ways to overcome them. Coming up next. Welcome to another episode of Soulful Conversations. You know, I consider this a safe place to have conversation to help strengthen those of us in marriage, in a relationship, and even those who desire to be in a relationship. My wife and I have been together for 25 plus years, and we've had countless disagreements, challenges, health scares, money, family, work issues, and there are certain things we do that still annoy the hell out of each other. Man, we have been so blessed to make it this far by the grace of God and by doing our part to overcome problems in our relationship. Time is a teacher. I've learned that. Time is a teacher if you let her teach you. Time has taught us that problems in a relationship open your eyes and help you to appreciate, as Al Green said, the good times. But you have to be willing to learn the lessons taught. The success of a relationship depends on how well and soon you seek to resolve an issue and seek to move from there to a better place. After a period of silence, staring into mobile devices and subtle back and forth side-eyeing, it became apparent that there was a problem. You both feel it. We feel off, but no one is addressing it. Let's look at 5 of the most common relationship problems couples tend to have and talk about ways that we can solve them. Relevant debates are healthy and important for self-expression. They really are. However, nasty, spiteful, hateful arguments are hurtful. And honestly, they serve no good purpose. There's going to be conflict. It's going to happen. And if you are consistently arguing over little things, little small things, little petty things, that's a red flag in your relationship. You know, my wife and I, we over the years, we've learned to call arguments heated fellowship. That's what we call it. We found that when it comes to arguing or fighting, significant others tend to forget that this only means that we disagree about something, and it does not mean that we don't like or love each other. Some people think it's the end of a relationship. That's not true. I said it earlier, that time is a teacher if you will let her teach. Well, time in marriage has taught us to chill, to take some time and sit down and to discuss an issue before it builds up and becomes a problem or a relationship challenge. You know, to express yourself peacefully with respect, you know, instead of simmering and boiling and quietly frustrating and then exploding on each other. You know, there are times when I need a woosah. I need a woosah moment. And my wife Sheila, she's got to go out on the deck alone for some deck therapy, play some jazz just to get herself settled. That's what it takes for us. You know, but it takes 2 people to argue. And it goes without saying, but conversations are indeed more productive when the emotions have cooled. You know, family, when arguments arrive, we have to be mindful of what we say and how we say it, and to be factual. I'll say it again, factual about what is upsetting us. Factual, I'll say it again for the people back there. It's key so that you attack the problem and not the person. Discuss, but don't try not to argue. Be sure that the problem you're addressing is really the problem. so that you can attempt to change the behavior and the thought processes behind it. And that works for both of you. And lastly, understand that there will be times when you have to agree to disagree and part ways without a conflict. My next common problem, insecurity. If you have experienced a significant other that continuously checks up on you to determine your whereabouts, if you are experiencing someone not trusting you to stay faithful and there's a conversation about cheating, it keeps coming up. If you're defending relationships due to jealous feelings, like with your friends or your homies, if it seems like everything you say to your significant other requires vetting and verification, insecurity is an issue here. Insecurity is a feeling of inadequacy that is born out of a lack of self-confidence, and insecurity can be painful, and it's a difficult emotion to experience, and it can take its toll on a person's mental health as well as a relationship. A relationship runs smooth when you balance your differences, and you really take the time to really to balance that out, and so that the insecurities don't impact the relationship and it becomes imbalanced. A person who becomes more preoccupied with what their partner is doing and the reassurance and validation, that's signs of insecurity. To help your significant other manage better in a relationship, provide a safe space for them. A safe space for them to discuss their fears, concerns, hear them out, provide reassurance. Having this conversation will make you both self-aware. You'll know where each other are. You'll know about situations that trigger the insecurity, which is important, and you can work together to work on them. During this heart-to-heart conversation, it's important to not assess blame. Listen. Understand their perspective. I know that can be hard to do, but it's important that you do that. If there's a bigger issue than the two of you can handle, a trained outside source can assist and help you both work through this insecurity. My next one, infidelity or cheating. Whew. Infidelity involves physical relationships outside of marriage. Infidelity can also come in the form of emotional cheating. Also, most affairs don't happen spontaneously, and it may surprise you, but infidelity can happen in a happy relationship as well as a troubled relationship. A lot of people don't think that's true, but it is. If your significant other has cheated on you, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Nope, that's not what this point is all about. What I can say, that recovering from infidelity, cheating, emotional affairs, emotional relationships is one of the most challenging chapters that a person can go through in a relationship. Before choosing to continue or end your marriage, again, that's your choice, you must take time to heal and understand what's behind the event. Cheating hurts, and it takes sometimes years to get over it. Don't blame yourself, but seek to find out what's behind it. It will help you in your healing process. If you're the one who are unfaithful, take responsibility for your actions. Make sure that outside relationship is over, and stop all interactions or communications with that person. That's what you gotta do. Gotta do it. Situations like that, if it gets real deep, different resources may be needed, like a trained counselor, trained therapist, or experienced spiritual leader that you may know, your pastor. Seeking advice and additional resources are important because this is a very deep wound for people. After beginning your inner healing, marriage counseling can help you move forward. And having that marriage counselor will give you a perspective, identify issues, and you'll learn how to rebuild and strengthen your relationship to avoid divorce, if that is the mutual goal. It will be required for you to forgive. You're going to have to forgive. You're going to have to forgive your partner and work on rekindling honesty and respect. And then you have to invest time intentionally into efforts into rekindling that relationship. So my next point, sex life. I'll give a little narrative to kind of make the story here. Bob and Joy are so tired that the only thing that they can think about is, at the end of the day, is going to sleep, laying down, resting. Although Joy longs for intimate moments together, she has to wait until the weekend. And there is no guarantee that that's going to happen. You know, they just remember that they have friends coming out of town. They hang with them for the weekend. So sex has to take a back burner again. You know, it's a common belief. It's a common belief, not Frank's belief, but it's a common belief that the beginning of a relationship is when the sex is best, is bountiful, is blessings, is spontaneous and nonstop. And after that, it's all downhill. That's the picture that's painted. That's the picture that's painted. But truthfully, every relationship of intimacy is different. Sex draws a physical connection between two significant others, you know, bringing them closer together. And that bringing close together helps you maintain a healthy relationship. However, significant others have to deal with real issues in life, like loss of libido, busy schedules, fatigue, medical issues, etc. All these challenges can come in to change the whole dynamic of the sexual relationship in a relationship. But overcoming these issues require talking openly about the sex life. You know, you can ask yourself, what do I want sexually? Now, you have to be honest with yourself and open with yourself in order to get a true conversation. That same question can be asked of your significant other. Then the both of you talk about it. Talk about what you both want. Is there a need for change? Do we need to change something? But in that conversation, be mutually respectful to each other and to the needs and desires. And, you know, we tend to think of our sex life as only a physical body, but there are mental and psychological factors that may come into play as well that people may be dealing with. You know, it's kind of challenging to be 100% present in a moment if you have, you know, there are health challenges on your mind, late mortgage payments, layoffs, teleworking, real life stuff that come at you. It makes it challenging, you know, in your mind, and that can affect how you perform. It mentally can affect you. However, I want to make a suggestion. Hear me out. Try scheduling time for sex, but don't rule out spontaneous opportunities. I want you to hear me on that. I want you to think about it. I know you might be thinking, I might not feel like having sex at 8 o'clock on Friday night. But you set that time aside and you think about it. The anticipation of sex can make you yearn for each other. Instead of focusing on the actual act, focus on the time that you and your significant other will spend exploring and playing with one another. You feel me? Yes. Communication's the next one. I want you to hear this. You got to understand this. Communication is important. I know it's often talked about in relationships, but it is very important. The lack of communication can be the cause of several severe relationship problems. And if the communication isn't resolved and the communication gap stays there, it continues to get wider and wider and wider and becomes a core problem in the relationship. The significant others can master effective, honest communication. You'll be less likely to be overtaken by some of these common relationship problems. You know, to solve that gap that I mentioned, it's simple. Talk and actively listen. You know, make time to sit and hear each other out. Let the communication flow both ways, no interruptions. Connect, acknowledge what's being said, and put them daggone devices away. Y'all almost made me cuss. No matter how uncomfortable the situation may be, talking about it, it always makes it better. Communication is a two-way street that both people need to travel on together. If you want your relationship to work in the long run, effective communication must be a priority. You will be amazed. You will be absolutely astonished at what a conversation will teach you about your significant other and how it's a problem solver, how it will diffuse frustration and irrational insecurities. So I want to recap the common problems that I mentioned in this conversation. We have arguments, insecurity, infidelity or cheating, sex life, and communication. Those are the 5. There are myriad others out there, but those are the 5 that we talk about in this conversation. With the proper mindset, you and your significant other can be on your way to a happy and healthy relationship. I say that with a smile because I feel that and I know that. Your relationship success depends on the willingness to show up and take ownership and contribute. And as I said earlier, if necessary, family, find an impartial professional to get into that and help you in your journey. If you want to solve your relationship issues, you've got to do the work. I know I've said it in other videos, but it's a serious thing. If you want to solve the relationship problems in a mature, respectable, mutual manner, do the work, and it will serve you with an opportunity to rekindle and take you back to that first attraction that you both had. Overcoming problems take a conscious effort and follow through. And guess what, family? You can do it. If that's where you are, you can do it. So family, thank you for watching and considering this a safe space to help you in your relationship. If you know someone that may not be in the best relationship situation right now, share this video with them. If your relationship is in a good place, if you're in a healthy relationship, I applaud you. I salute you. I'm proud of you. Big Frank is proud of you. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to having another conversation with you in the next video. Peace and blessings to each of you and your relationships.